Kimball on the other line here. Say hello.
Hey, Mr. Kimball, how are you?
Good, I'm doing pretty good.
Very good. Good to hear it.
He's at work. How long do you hang out at work there? Just whenever?
Usually we're 8 to 5 kind of company, so...
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, once in a while we get projects that go late, so I have to work a little late.
What do you do out there, can I ask? Can I be nosy?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a senior motion graphic designer for the troupe. We work on TV commercials, corporate videos. I do the visual effects.
Nice.
Anything that pertains to TV commercials, we do. Planetarium shows.
So you do
the wide gambit of...
Do what you love for a living?
Yes, I do.
Very cool. Not many people get to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, true. I mean, every day I enjoy going to work. I work with I have an 8-core, a Mac 8-core, and other systems if I need it. I work with Cinema 4D, After Effects, all the cool stuff.
That's nice.
It's a lot of fun. I'm wrapping up on a Red Sox with a new scratch ticket for the New Hampshire lottery, and we did this thing where he's given a press announcement, and I had built a whole podium in 3D, and the card is animated, and reporters are asking questions and stuff. So that's about to air in a few weeks.
Oh, so that will go on your local TV there, and people will go and buy lotto tickets and...
Yep, and I have actually remodeled the whole website for the troupe. It's thetroop.com. You can see all the videos we do.
And check it out.
Cool. Check that out after.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll speak with Mr. Marc Kimball, and he's made a couple fan films, Superman Super 8 movie, which I'll be interested to talk to him about because there's a lot of history behind that. I checked out your cool Star Wars Battle of the Hoth movie, which I'm surprised I never saw it before.
Me too. I just saw that recently, too.
It's really
one
good.
Of my favorites, actually.
I'm surprised it's not up there with the rest of the more well-known fan films.
It was out in 2002. It actually aired on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, cool.
They did a special in 2002 of the fan films, and both Dantana Morse and Battlestar Galactic, Battle of Hoth appeared on the show. I think Kevin Smith was the host.
Oh, no,
I remember
that's
that.
right. Yeah, I remember that.
George Lucas Fan Film Awards, is that what it was?
Yep.
That's right.
When I saw that stuff.
Very cool.
A lot of fun.
That was 7 years ago?
Yes.
Jesus.
Wow, I feel old, man. 7 years ago. Oh.
Yeah, and that movie still is interesting. It still gets hits on Atom Films and stuff once in a while. People find it.
Well, Dark Redemption, Troops, that Pink 5, but this should be up there with the rest of them there. It's really well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Rebel Cause. A cause culminating in a fierce galactic civil war that pitted father against son, man against machine, and the dark against the light. Although battle-tested and honor-driven, the Rebel Alliance was seemingly nothing more than a continual nuisance to the pure might of the growing Imperial force, until the Alliance dealt a crushing blow to the Empire's frontier advancement by defying all odds and destroying the Imperial's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. With the Empire seemingly cowering in pain, the rebels had reason to be optimistic, but not overly so. The Empire would strike back, and strike hard. The ensuing engagement would be devastating and severely handicap the Rebel Alliance with massive loss of life, machinery, and troop morale. Nothing could prepare the rebel forces for the all-out ground assault that became known as the Battle of Hoth.
It was the treat to give the fans. We wanted to treat Star Wars as a real thing, as if historians discovered it so after the events, and it was told through the eyes of the interviewers and backstory and stuff.
Did you get a chance to see that one, Will?
I got to kind of skim through it because I just discovered it recently myself, but it looks great from what I saw.
Yeah, that was done on a budget of $127. We
really?
used 12-inch action figures and CD libraries we had of people's faces that I would paste on, and it was the first time I wanted to experiment with After Effects, put in 2.5D camera and built into it, and I wanted to do stereoscopic kind of feel to the shot, so they have this weird dimension, almost multiplane stuff. So it was a lot of fun to test that out on Battle of Hoth. What gives it that weird look, because each element is at a different level in the Z space.
And the voice really sold it. Who did that? Did you get
now that was he's a professional narrator.
Yeah.
And Sonny Defoe, and I work with him a lot. We were doing Christmas tree shop commercials, and I went up to him and says, you have a great voice. You do a lot of radio work. I said, would you mind doing this? And he'd love to do it. And he's actually the voice of the Emperor in Superman. He plays the evil.
Oh, right.
So he's in that, too, and he played the pilot in that one. But, yeah, he's really good. You know, and matter of fact, Mike Verrett did all the sound design on that. That's one of you'll notice a key theme in all our films. We try to do really high-end sound design.
Yeah, sound is always, especially in fan films, you don't usually get a good sound quality.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of those. So that helps a lot.
And that's really what makes Battle Hoth work. Is just the sound design that Mike Verrett did is phenomenal.
Well, it's like my history teacher. Like, if he put in a film 30 years ago when I was going to high school, that's exactly what it would be like.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Ken Burns. We modeled after the Ken Burns Civil Wars. We love those documentaries. Mike and I, you know, Mike Kimball, who was my partner in these films, we love the Civil War and History Channel stuff. So we wanted to do something like that for the Battle of Hoth. So it'd be a very cool kind of thing for the point of view of the rebels and the soldiers and the commanders, and not talk about the Jedi Knights at all, and just focus on that point of view.
That's one thing in Star Wars you never see mentioned. You never see news mentioned. You ever notice that?
What was that?
There's never any news mentioned in Star Wars. Like, there's never any news playing or news channels.
No. Yeah,
you think there'd be something, you know?
I think it's those holograph TVs they have.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it is or what, but I've noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. They don't have any of that kind of backstory. They don't watch TV or anything. That's what was, you know, that's why we came up with the idea, even with our first fan film, which was, I mean, the second one, I would say, which was the Dantana Morse one. I was actually working on real political spots, and I was driving home at the end of a long day, and I just started putting in Palpatine name in the name of what the candidate was in the spot, and I started laughing about it, and next day I talked to Mike and said, yeah, we should do this spoof. And so we did the spoof of the political spot, and it's set in the Star Wars universe.
Senator Palpatine, friend of Naboo, or career politician? He stood by and did nothing to stop the Trade Federation blockade. Palpatine supports the cloning of a new standing army while slashing our already ailing Jedi Knight training programs. He'll grow the size of the Republic and increase your taxes to pay for such programs as his unproven Death Star. He's shown time and again we can't trust him, and we certainly can't afford another 4 years of Senator Palpatine.
Dantana has a history, too, because that was the first of the original 5 films in the Adam Films and Lucasfilm joint venture in the official Star Wars fan site. So that was the original 5.
Oh, okay.
Dantana Morse.
Very cool.
And that happened right after Superman got taken off the web.
Have you gotten any feedback from Mr. Lucas at all, or?
No, you know, we never looked at, you know, we got, both won honorary awards. The Battle Hoth, I remember, also won for fan, it didn't win the top honors, but it was in the 5 of the honorary awards for the fans voted. So it did very well.
And that's good stuff, too. That means you're doing your job, making a good movie.
Yeah, you know, I just want to make it entertaining. I mean, we just do it for fun. We're not looking out to be the next George Lucas or Spielberg. We just do these on the side. They're like our Ship in a Bottle project. Kind of lets us kind of just chill out and do kind of fun stuff on the side. And so that's why we always do them on a very low budget. And even our latest, Star Ranger 7, is loaded with, about 587 visual effects shots. Took about 4 years, but about under $1,000. So everything was virtual in that film. That was the fun challenge, and we have great sound design in that one. And it's just a fun, you know, fast-paced action film. It was our first non-fan film, actually.
Well, that's usually the progression.
Yeah, you know, and again, it was just for fun. So we built, and then from that I learned how to build the website again, because I hadn't done the website since Superman. So it was fun to build the new Star Ranger 7 site, and we do nice shadow box stuff, so the videos come up, and, you know, it's a nice presentation now to watch the films. And they're all there, so you can watch Superman to Star Ranger to Battle of Hoth to Dantana Morse now, both in flash and QuickTime. Everybody can watch it now. That, and then Superman, that was a film shot in 1980.
And you were in college, right?
Yep, I had just gotten my associate degree in graphic design, and I was heading off to Pittsburgh State Television Production, and it was that summer. I had a few friends from Long Island coming up to visit me. I thought, you know, we'd make another film together, and we shot it in about 4 days, and I came up with this really wild, merging all the things I love, which is comic books, science fiction, Flash Gordon, all that stuff mixed into this movie. And when I started really cutting it and trying to do the visual effects, I built this model, and it looked like a giant lobster in outer space, so it looked horrible. And trying to get a 12-inch action figure to fly and without an optical printer, I couldn't really do all these big effect shots that I wanted to do. And Zen was shot in a one-car garage with a black drape over, and I built this little control panel for him, and it just looked really bad. So I just put the film in the canister and put it in the box. And then in '98, after being in television production for, about 10, 12 years, we went to this convention for broadcast designers, and they were talking about these new filters being created for After Effects, and it was called aged film. And I'm listening, and I'm seeing some demos, and then it just went off. Oh my God, I could finish Superman now. I could actually do high-end CGI graphics that I know how to do, and blend it in with this really old Super 8 footage. And it would, for the first time, I could seamlessly merge everything. So when we came home from that convention, I immediately found the film, and I transferred them on to video, and I watched it, and in horror, I realized how bad it was. And I'm going, how can I fix this? And even the end, I only had 3 shots for the end. And I was just, how do I even make this a big ending? And so I just started watching it a few times, starting a storyboard, and I came up with about 137 effect shots. And one of the big things was to remove characters from inside the big battleship, which is basically in a black draped background. So I said, I'll rotoscope him out, and I'll put him in a CGI set. I'll add this digital character, Cybercon. I'll add the gray aliens to help cut the big end sequence. And so I started really manipulating the original footage and see how far I could push it. And lo and behold, a year later on a Mac G3 266 mega computer, I had Superman ready around September of 2000. Put it on the web because I said, there's a lot of Star Wars fan films, and there's nothing on Superman. People will enjoy this. So I learned how to build a website, put it up in 2000, and 4 days later, the lawyers came.
Oh, boy.
And I said, I said, and I had no advertisement or anything on the site, but it was too soon. They, a lot of studios didn't quite understand what fan films were at that time. And, only like George Lucas seemed to embrace the fan film genre. And so I just immediately took it off and didn't think anything about it for, about until now, like 2008. And then Mike, as we were wrapping up Star Ranger 7, said, hey, would you think of putting Superman back on the web? I said, as far as I know, you're not allowed to put fan films up. And then I did, okay, I'll tell you what, Mike, I'll search the web. And I searched the web, and then I found this Fan Cinema Today site by Clive Young.
Yeah.
So
who's that?
And there was like 4 days.
Clive who?
And I'm reading this thing, and it says something about, that DC Comics is, the vice president made an announcement that they're going to be okay with fan films. And then I start reading a little further about this Superman film that was taken off the web in 2000 ago. I'm saying to myself, that can't be my film. That can't be. So I click on it, and then I'm reading about it, and I go, I think this is me. I had no idea it was the first Superman film taken off the web or any of that. So I emailed him, and I told him, hey, I think I'm that guy. If you're talking about Superman and Super 8 movie, and he goes, yeah, and as a matter of fact, you're in the book. And I go, what book? It's the book he's writing.
You don't want to be in that book.
Yeah. And he said, would you mind asking a few questions? I said, no, not at all. And next thing you know, it's in the book. So it's a page in there. But, and I just was laughing about the whole thing.
You weren't aware if there's this underground...
No.
I don't know. Is movement a good word?
Yes. I said, I can't believe people even remember that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost 9 years ago.
Did you ever show the original film at comic conventions or anything?
Nope.
No.
If you saw the original, you wouldn't even. I mean, you would be amazed. I mean, because
I'd actually love.
Yeah, you should put that up just for a comparison. That would be cool.
Maybe I will. I have to digitize that, but. Because, I mean, to create the electrical boats in one of the sequences, I scratched the film. And then I'm looking at myself, you idiot! Scratching the film. Now it's there. And so I had to rotoscope a lot of the scratches out. It was just a lot of work to try to...
Well, I'm a big Ed Wood fan, so I'd love it.
Yeah. When you see the one-car garage, I mean, you see the original sets, and, there's almost black holes because there's no visual effects. There was no Superman hurling an asteroid and all that stuff. And back then, it was the first time to try a digital Superman, and, to try to do all these kind of visual effects was new to me, to try to push it at that level. And
were you familiar at all with Don Glut's work?
No, because back then the internet was still so young. I mean, I knew about Troopers,
right?
Which I loved. I remember I was all trying to download that.
Well, Don Glutz actually he started making films back in I guess the late 50s, early 60s. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like the fan film guru, I guess.
Godfather, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware who he is or not.
I never knew until reading Willard Clive's book. Even,
well, that's right.
How that culture was even there. I mean, I never even thought about it.
It's crazy, right?
I mean, when I'm making a Superman film, it was just me because I liked Superman, and this was going to be shown to family and friends. It never was meant to be anything more than that. And then the internet came around, and then I said, maybe I can salvage this film, and it'd be fun just to finish it, because it always bothered me that this film was never done. You spend that summer and you spend time going to Battleship Cove and shooting on the battleships there and shooting scenes, going to Boston, getting kicked out by the police at Quincy Market. I remember all the little, somebody walking up and asking me, are we doing Superman 2? And I was kind of laughing. Yes, with the little Super 8 camera and the three of us, we're making Superman 2.
Where's Richard Donner? He was around here someplace.
Yeah. And so I remember those moments. It was always bothering me that I never finished it. And when I had finally done this new version and actually added an audio track to it and all that, it was really fun. It's still to this day fun to watch. But it doesn't truly represent what I can do now, though. Just, all the, when I shot that film, I just didn't know what the hell I really was doing. Now in looking at it even a few years ago, it's just, why didn't I shoot that angle or this angle? And get all these cutaways and stuff. But, I could see the raw talent in me back then, and so it's kind of fun to watch the old days.
That's fun. A little nostalgia kick. Now, were you Superman?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. Well, I sure was. In my younger days, I was much thinner. I couldn't play him today.
That's how it works.
I'm testament to that.
As a drunken Superman. That's an old man.
Superman likes beer too much now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Superman's 48 now. He won't be able to fly so fast. But, I was really happy that, DC Comics and them, they kind of mellowed out. Not for this film, but for other films. I think it's nice that, people have fun making these films. And there's some amazing fan films out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
do you have any favorites?
I'm impressed with, the guy who does the Batman Dead End.
Sandy Colora.
Yeah, his stuff. I always was like, wow, he knows his stuff. Revelations. He worked on Trenches, and I think he's still waiting to get that movie out.
Yeah, he's working. What is it, Sci-Fi Channel or something? We're going to actually be talking to him very soon. Yeah,
he knows. He's a professional. I can tell. You can tell when people are in the business. You just see the difference in how
definitely.
Project. And then I'm always impressed with Star Trek, the New Voyages guys.
Yeah,
I just think
this stuff's crazy. Yeah.
The money they put into it, but their passion. I just love the fact that they're passionate, and and people will pick on them on the scripts and stuff. But that's a lot of work what they do to crank out episodes, and they're constantly doing it. I mean, it takes me 4 years to make a movie now, and then I need to take a break for a year or two, and then pick up another project. These guys are cranking out show after show.
Yeah, he's got.
I definitely saw a big Star Wars / Star Trek influence when I was looking at kind of at the ships and the characters.
Yeah, I never understand the hatred from Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans. I mean, I love Star Trek, Star Wars.
Exactly.
Babylon
I'm a 50-50 guy. Yeah.
I love the new Battlestar Galactica. That was a great high quality series. So I mean, I like all the genres, and then my 5 favorite superheroes is definitely Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Green Lantern, which I'm kind of excited to making a movie about that.
Yeah, that should be awesome if done right.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope it's wonderful to see people. I mean, everybody has a different reason why they make the fan film. There's people that are just so passionate about what they love, the Star Treks and the Star Wars, and then there's the professionals that are using it as a tool to get noticed. And they'll put in the money and the time to make it really high end.
Exactly.
You see that, and even what the guys did at New Voyages, they've parlayed that to now this Flash Gordon retro series.
Which is all licensed.
Buck Rogers.
Oh, right, Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
which they actually got the license. Yeah.
So he's growing and he's moving into interesting directions. It's really fun to see. And this is I'm telling you, being in television, next 4 years, 5 years max. The way we watch TV is going to be totally different. The Internet and TV are so close to merging right now. And with, places like Hulu and stuff, you just see that nonlinear television is coming. And that, all these kind of fan films, there'll be sites for that. And so watch that on your big
What do you think
TV.
about, touching on that, what do you think about the caps that are coming along on most of the Internet providers as far as download capacity? You think that's going to...
Yeah, I think, there's always Internet, too. I think eventually the broadband's going to open up. Right now, I have Comcast, and it does a pretty good job. It downloads pretty fast.
Well, what I'm saying is they're going to... A lot of the providers are going to start capping how much you can download.
That could be a problem.
Yeah.
And I think what I believe is you got to open up the competition.
Yep.
Meaning, there's going to have to be other ways to get to the Internet, and people will find other. They were talking even about electrical, lines.
Oh, no shit, really? Yeah.
Yeah, through the plug, they could, get Internet through that. But I think it's going to have to take. Right now, this is only a few that provide really broadband Internet. But if they can open that up more, I think that would solve a problem. But you're right, that could be an issue.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because what I think cable companies are now starting to see is they're starting to get probably a little nervous seeing that. Well, wait a minute, the people are watching this on the net now? And not
exactly, and that's why...
people are cutting out their cable now and keeping the Internet.
Exactly.
Because they can watch most of this stuff on there.
And I think...
They keep warning you about that digital cable thing that's coming. They keep warning people.
Yeah.
Like it's the apocalypse.
Right.
Get ready, June 13th, we'll all be switching to digital cable.
Well, that was all the government anyways, so
if you don't have regular TV, you will be screwed.
Yeah.
They're like so dramatic about it.
Yeah. I know. It's
crazy.
Not a big deal, really.
No.
Your children will die. They will burn alive in the street.
Yeah.
Now they're getting crazy. Don't mind me. Too many vitamins.
That's okay. So, yeah, I think it is going to change. I think fan films will, this is going to be more sophisticated. I mean, the tools are just amazing now. I mean, I remember when I first started in this business, it was all linear editing, and now it's just what I can do now. It's just amazing.
How long have you been dabbling in the computer stuff? It sounds like you got some big-time experience.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I mean, when I started, I worked on the early 3M computer graphic stuff in, 86. It had 256 colors, and I could cycle.
We're talking about the floppy disk era.
Yes, the floppy disk era. And then we moved to 1-inch decks and ADOs to squeeze zoom the videos. And then I used to have to stuff tapes just to make a dissolve, and it was all linear. And then I worked on the number 2 Avid, the Troop here, and that's how I got my job. I actually kind of tested the Avid here to see if it could work. And so I remember working on a golf show, and it was so pixelized. It was like AVR1. I could barely see the ball. I had to sync with the tape just to know what was going on. And now, where we're at now, it's like $1 million facility 10 years or 20 years ago. Now it's all replaced by a little Mac.
That's awesome.
No, it's changed a lot. It's been fun to see. I didn't think I'd have this stuff until I was 70 years old. It was quite a bit off.
Well, like I always say, where the hell are the flying cars?
Yeah, that's the one thing. And at school,
are there supposed to be flying cars by now?
Yeah, that's why I always said. That's why I remember in high school they said, "Hey, there'll be flying cars." That'd be cool. They never mentioned the Internet.
And hoverboards.
Like if you look up at the sky and traffic in the sky, that would be insane.
Yeah,
it would block up the sun.
Yeah.
Oh no!
What do you do with traffic jams up in the atmosphere?
Yeah, what do? You look at the Jetsons. They even had stop signs floating around up there.
Can you imagine? People can't fucking drive on the road.
Exactly.
They're gonna drive in the sky.
Oh shit! We'll be screwed.
I think it would be a world of what was that? The Fifth Element,
right?
Like that in New York City of the future.
I definitely have a laser blaster mounted on my car. Hit you with the nebulizer.
Anyways, the key to this plan is the giant laser. It was invented by the noted Cambridge physicist, Dr. Parsons. Therefore, we shall call it the Alan Parsons Project.
Could you maybe go in depth a little more about your Star Ranger 7 series? Kind of interested to hear about that.
I've had a lot of projects when I was in high school, and that never got made. And Star Ranger 7 was one of them. It was basically the original plot was the Lone Ranger in outer space.
Oh, cool.
And where he's with a group of fellow pilots, and it's a sneak attack, and he's the sole survivor. And so over the years, it evolved into this big thing. And so Star Ranger's plot became, he's on this base, he's in his 40s. That's why we call it 40-something, because all of us are in our 40s now. And he's kind of near retirement, and he's kind of bitter because he's on this outskirts of Zeta Prime, which is quite the end of the universe there. And he wakes up, everything's normal, but meanwhile, my character, who's Jake Swan, is the good guy, and I'm John Recon. I'm the bad guy, and I have I hate the Rangers because they betrayed me, basically, and my family gets killed, and that's the backstory of it. But I want revenge, and so I find a way to shut down the defense grid, and I'm going to destroy the Rangers at Zeta Prime, and I'm going to steal this powerful weapon called the dark matter weapon.
All stop. Check on our weapon systems now.
Captain, if I may ask, how will we get past the defense grid without alarming the Ranger fleet?
No, you may not ask, Lieutenant. Just know that I've taken care of everything. Check the grid.
You've done it, sir. The grid is down.
Surprise will be our ally. Attention crew! Launch the attackers! Fire the missiles! Maximum speed! Time to earn the namesake of this ship! Revenge! 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 Revenge!
The Rangers don't know anything that's going on, and next thing with my dock carrier, I start blowing up things. Space stations, dry docks, and Jake Swan's caught in the middle, and he's desperate to get to his ship. So he gets to his ship, and at the last moment, everything blows up, but he just barely escapes. So there I am on my ship, and I get damaged because of the shockwave. He's able to board my ship, and he causes havoc. And so it's basically me against him trying to find out, I'm trying to get to the dark matter weapon on the moon base that has the secret moon base he knows about, and Jake Swan's trying to stop my ship from getting it. And so it's just one action scene after another. And there's lots of explosions, a lot of fight scenes, and it ends up in a big ending.
Always have to have the big ending in space. You can never have a mediocre ending in space.
What was challenging was that nothing existed. It's every shot is a green screen shot in the entire movie. And the way we cut it, we cut it like a fast action film. So there's 587 shots in a 21-minute time span.
And this is like a series, right? This carries on through a few episodes.
Nope. It's only going to be the one film.
Oh, okay.
I don't usually even notice. I never made a sequel. I just keep going. So it is meant to. It really is. Every film we've done is almost pokes a little fun at the template of filmmaking in a way. Like Dantana Morse pokes fun at the way political spots are made. Battle Hoth is more the technique of documentaries, how they're made. And Star Ranger really picks apart the action film. And so every shot, you're like, this looks familiar. Like in every action film, the guy is dangling somewhere.
You get a lot of that.
No matter what film, he will be on a 40-story height something and he's dangling to his death. Or there'll be explosions in the background as he's running, or he'll barely escape as doors are closing.
Villains screaming, there'll be a lot of that.
And villains can't shoot straight.
They're like the fucking A-team.
Think about that. Here's a guy who's running, right? You think any of the guards are smart enough to go ahead of him and then work their way back to kill him? No, the bullet's always tracing him.
The damn thing's warped, I tell you. It's warped.
Yeah. So they have really bad guns, and I poke fun of that in Ranger because this is like point blank. The guy can't miss. He's standing right in front of him, and he still misses him.
It's like the hero can kill 50 guys, but 50 guys can never kill the hero.
Exactly.
So
that's all throughout Ranger. If people get that kind of humor, then that's great, because that's really what it's all about.
It's very easy to poke fun of, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very, very easy.
And
very cliched.
Very much so. If you look at even today's, I was laughing because Star Trek, the new $150 million film.
Right.
You got Kirk dangling to it.
Right.
Dangling, and look behind him, there's an explosion.
Yeah, exactly. You got the typical kind of formula. Like there's always in a car chase scene, there'll always be some type of barrels that fall off the truck, or there's a glass truck somewhere.
You have to have an orchestral score going.
Yeah, or there'll be water
drama.
that explosion.
Right.
Yeah. So there's all formula to everything. People are comfortable with that when they actually do it. There's some
and when people break the mold, you really do like notice. Like films films like Blade Runner, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, they took like pulp film noir and they mixed it with sci-fi.
Yep.
Like that was weird. Everyone was like, "What the hell?" They don't know how to like accept it. Blade Runner
and it took it going to VHS to be a hit.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing.
The cult hit, right?
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen to Watchmen too, or like Sin City, those kind of things. Or, like one of my Sky Captain, The World Tomorrow, which I love that.
Oh, that was great too. I thought it was very underappreciated.
Yeah, it is really underappreciated. I don't get that. But, I mean, I think the only fault in that didn't really have a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no real antagonist in that film, but that's the only little fault. I think it's a beautiful film to watch.
It's fantastic to just check out. You know, like you said, visually, it's just wow.
Yeah,
especially if you're a fan of like old school Buck Rogers or those Republic serials from way back when. You know, it really kind of takes you back to that era.
And that was one of the first films that was almost all green screen too. I mean, he really.
That's right.
And then that opened it up for Sin City kind of things and 300. You know what they did, and now with Watchmen and others, that stylistic look to things, which I love seeing. You know, might as well push the genre a little bit.
Exactly. You know, people pushing it is always appreciated.
The other landmark film I think was Matrix. What they
that's another one, yeah.
You know, and then unfortunately everybody ripped them off.
Of course. Is that a good movie? Let's rip it off.
Well, they never got it. I mean, Matrix made sense. They could do all these leaps and jumps and spend themselves because they're in this computer.
The old slow motion stop and shoot like 500 bullets.
Right, and then if you just take that one, which is Wanted or something, they're doing the same thing, but that's supposed to be real. They're not in a Matrix. How can they?
Yeah, what's weird? I don't know.
You know, that's another film I always remember as really being, and of course Star Wars. Just the way it was cut and using the music was classical music, it was a very unique.
And they didn't hire Queen to do the soundtrack.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, boy,
that was a great. I have that record.
Yeah,
I have the record in mint condition. I love that record.
How old are you? You must be close to my age.
I'm going to be 34 in April.
Oh man, I remember going to the theater seeing Flash Gordon.
Yeah, well, I used to watch on HBO all the time. It was
You must see the similarities of Emperor Zen in the Superman film to the.
Oh, of course. I was going to say a lot of those, like the villains, look like they were, influenced by certain, characters, like assorted sci-fi characters.
That's what I like about this. When I watch the Superman, it's like this is everything I loved as a kid. I just realized that.
Yep.
I got a little Star Wars in there. I got a little Flash Gordon.
And apparently people still like that stuff because your film's been doing well, with the hype and all that. You've been getting a lot of hits, right?
Yeah, it does well. It keeps, I'm not doing much of promoting it. It just kind of sustains itself. I get like a few hundred a week. And
if you want to stand on the corner and hand out some flyers for you.
That would be nice. If you want to spread the word about it.
Check it out, everybody. Check it out.
My biggest concern was when I put it back on the web, I don't know when 2000 people go, oh my God, look at these visual effects. But now it's like, oh my God, I've seen this, done that. Would it be dated? And that was my biggest concern, that some people may find it too dated. And I remember reading some comments that were upset that Superman kills, and I felt bad about that.
No.
I said he really didn't have much of a choice, did he?
It was very brave of you, though, to mix the 8mm footage with, the more modern effects and CGI and all that stuff.
That was very new. As a matter of fact, that's why I never touched the project, because I could do these wonderful video chroma key stuff and all that stuff, but how could I make this film work if I had all this great CGI stuff, and it's just all of a sudden you get this old grainy footage, and all of a sudden it cuts to this beautiful CGI of me flying. It would oh my God, it wouldn't cut. You would be taken out of the movie. But once that plugin came available, it was like, well, now I can put scratches, dirt. Back in the design days of the 90s, I call that the grunge period, when all us designers started rebelling the clean digital look, and we wanted to kind of step on the videos or step on the film, really grunge it up, scratch it up, make it dirty, make it really gritty. And actually, we see some of that today, like Battlestar Galactica, which is a very gritty film. It's a very gritty look to it. The Bourne, very documentary look.
Yeah.
So there's some of that where it's that, which I think with Bourne especially, works great. I think people are taking it too far now, and they're going to have to come back a little bit. Like the new Bond film, I thought they went a little bit too.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You know, and it's just what happens. People explore it to a point where they push it too far, and then they have to kind of come back. But, yeah, so, I mean, that was the biggest challenge, was trying to make all this visual, high-end digital work blend in with the old Super 8. And
you mixed everything. You had the old Super 8, you had the CGI, you even added in the doll. The doll's flying at certain points.
Yeah, well, that was CGI. That turned out to be a CGI Superman.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I only had a shot of me flying in space. It was just a medium shot, so I hadn't have any legs or anything. So I came with this great idea. I said, you know what? I'm just going to take the digital legs from the poser guy, and I'll connect it to my body, so then I can fly across the screen.
It's a cyborg.
Yeah. So I mean, it was. That's what was fun about the project, was problem solving so many problems.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You know, could I make it? You know, actually, I play Vendicon in a few shots because I couldn't use the original footage, so I had to use me walking up to him, and I luckily had the costume still. And actually, my original Superman costume, I scanned those in so I could put them on the CGI Superman, so the Superman emblem matched my costume and the
So you still got the old suit, huh?
Yeah, I still had the old suit. It was in the box with the film.
With the moths all over it.
Yeah, it had a few holes in it, but I didn't have to wear it.
Kryptonian, so we'll have a hard time getting through the fibers.
You know what? That was, and the suit was made. My father helped me make the cape. My father knows how to sew, believe it or not. My mother does not. It was basically a dance leotard. And the leotards was sometimes too thin, and so I had to wear black stockings underneath, so it would darken the blue a little bit. And I made the belt out of balsa wood and remember this nice shiny yellow material. And the underwear, the red underwear, is red underwear. We added loops to that, and I'm wearing socks, and I added the little V's. And I was
guerrilla filmmaking at its finest.
Yeah, it really was. You know, I didn't think anything of it, making papier-mâché rocks. It was just fun, you know.
That's what it is. All in all, you could have a fan film that's, you know, like $100,000. At the end of the day, it's all about fun. You know, that's what it is.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's all about fun and appreciating what you're trying to, you know, pay homage to on the screen. You know?
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to say, hey, look at me, Warner Brothers, DC. I can.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the thing at all.
Check this out, baby.
You know, I'm just trying to have a little fun with the character, and hopefully, you know, just have fun making films. I mean, if you don't have fun making these, then you shouldn't be doing them.
Why bother?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time you put in.
And you could tell when there's no love behind it. You could see like, oh, this is just thrown together and half-assed and the whole bit.
If there's one thing I could say to fan filmmakers, the one thing that I see fault in a lot of them is sound.
Yeah.
That they use on-camera microphones.
We talk about this all the time.
And I just, you know, I look at these shots, they look great, and I'm, like, excited when I see the trailers. Most of the trailers that won't put any audio, but then all of a sudden, when I hear it, the sound kills it. And I said, even if you can't afford really high-end mics, then that's okay. Then get yourself shoot the film that way, but then replace all the audio if you can do that.
You can even do like the voiceovers come in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, if you can get a snowball mic for $99, that would at least be better. You know, you bring your actors in, you could play them on the screen and just like Hollywood. If there's too much noise or stuff in the background, redo your dialogue.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, if you can't afford the microphones or boom mics and stuff. But, you know, even with Ranger, we only had 90% of the film was made with two people in the studio. Me behind the camera and Mike in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. But we always made sure the boom mic was there, and we'd do a sound check, make sure that we got great audio. Because in the end, what makes Ranger work, I mean, my visual effects shots would fall apart without the sound design done by Drake Giles. He did a phenomenal job on all these sounds. Like even gun blasts have 7 to 8 layers of sound in them. And we have tons of music library here, so it has a big music tracks and stuff that are legal. So actually the whole film is completely legal, which is nice.
Do you have any plans to maybe show it at any upcoming cons or festivals or anything like that?
No, I mean, unless they contact us. Unless somebody wants us to talk, we don't kind of pursue it. Like, I don't go after anything. But I'd rather have it the other way. If people find our site and they're interested in us talking, I'd be very happy to. Like, we did do a premiere at the Troop. We had about 67 people come, and they had a blast because one of the things we did is we compared how Episode 3 was made. And you know that on the DVD they do that 1-minute sequence about how many people were involved in making that 1-minute scene of them on the volcano planet.
Right.
And so we kind of described that, and then we showed that there was only 3 people that made Star Ranger 7. And it was done the same way, and then we showed them the film, so they got a very good idea of what was involved in making Ranger. You know, people just, when they watch these films, you know, a lot of people are not filmmakers. They watch it and they just, oh, that was okay.
Take it for granted. It's like, oh, all right, whatever.
Yeah, but they don't realize that, all right, you can't compare a $150 million film to an $800 film. It's just not going to happen. But, you know, watch it for what they did with what they had. And that's how, when I watch fan films, that's what I'm always looking at is, you know, my God, look what they did for no money or something. It's amazing.
Those are always the best ones, the ones that just make you say, wow.
Yeah.
And the budgets are so small.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, to me, that's the most, I mean, I work on big budgets. I mean, I'll work on not Hollywood budgets, but, you know, we'll work on $50,000, $60,000 projects and stuff and, and have a big crews and all that stuff. But to make these little, I don't want it to get the headaches of making filmmaking. Filmmaking can be a real pain in the neck. You know, and if you have the bigger the crews, the more complexity, the more it's work now. So on all the films that I've made, they're always based on the fan film model, basically. It's just a few friends getting together making a movie. Yeah. You know, it's done in that scale. And, you know, and we'll make it as big as we possibly can. That was fun about Ranger. I could build sets 17-story high. And it cost me nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a green screen. So you could build this epic movie without any money.
Well, there is a base, and I can say fan base, that understands that. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't, and you've probably gotten emails or messages saying, oh, what the fuck, you know, this sucks or whatnot. But, yeah, appreciate it for what it is, and there is people that can do that, like myself and Mr. Will.
You like Superman, watch the movie for what it was. It was done in 1980. It was enhanced in 2000, but, you know, it is what it is. It's not going to be a great, great film. It's not going to be Superman Returns type of film.
And it is going to be a piece of fan film history for those people that follow that.
That was the, you know, and that's, I guess, the biggest surprise to me, that it is part of history of some sort. You know, because there was never the intent to make any waves, to upset, you know, DC or anything, because they were fine. I mean, if they would have just emailed me, I would have been happy to take it off because, you know, I didn't want to infringe on any copy.
Did they actually call you?
No, I got an email from the lawyers. I mean, it's pretty much what happens today with you put on a legal clip, they'll just cease and desist type of stuff. And they were fine after that. I didn't, you know, they never bothered me again. And I never bothered them. I just said, okay, you don't want to play it? I'll play in the Star Wars universe.
All right, there you go.
They like us, so, you know, so I'll do that. But, you know, I was thrilled that they reversed their course, which I think is healthy for all the franchises.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think sometimes fan films can go too far, too. I mean, if they're trying to sell it. And the thing I'm upset sometimes I see in these conventions is they'll go, here's a T-shirt, but you buy a T-shirt, I'll give you the DVD free or something.
Yeah.
And
then there's
crossing the line.
Yeah, then there's people that, I mean, the fan film makers won't sell it, but there will be people that grab it from the internet and make their own DVD copies.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. That is you know, and that's one of the reasons at least with Superman, I'm not making it downloadable in a way that you can still grab it. I'm sure the technology does that, but I don't care.
They do the same thing with Hollywood movies, too, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, with Wolverine.
Right, exactly.
And I don't blame the studios being very upset about that.
Yeah.
They should be.
Work.
That is true copyright infringement. You know, if people who make these fan films should know that, you know, no money to be made on these.
Right.
You know, respect the people who do own it, and the studios will be fine with that. It's just, you know, I'm so pure. I don't even put those pop-up ads up. I don't even like to do that. You know, that's one thing that's nice about my site. There's no pop-ups or anything.
Right. Yeah.
Chris always talks about that.
Yeah, that's
distracting that as with a fan film on, like Yahoo or something.
Exactly.
Buy Viagra today, you know.
I mean, I do have a store for T-shirts, but that was more for fun for me to make. The T-shirts for Ranger only.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's
why not? That's
no
perfectly
problem.
acceptable.
But that's just for fun. But for overall, though, you could go through my entire site and never, especially in today's economic times, if you want to have an hour or so to just chill and have fun watching some movies.
Yeah.
Our site's perfect for that.
Not, like the 6th CSI or Law and Order show. Get away from that and go to the internet and watch some of these films.
Yeah, just if you want a good laugh and just see people really having fun making movies, these fan films are fun to do.
What's your follow-up now? When Star Ranger's over?
I'm going to help our creative director, who just got himself a Steadicam, and he has a Panasonic P2 camera. And he's got an idea for a film, and I'm going to help him out on doing the short. So that'll probably be my next thing that I help somebody else work on.
Anything you can mention as far as?
I can't. No? He's still writing it, so I can't talk much about that.
Any genre?
It will be in the sci-fi-ish kind of thing, but grounded in today's world.
Gotcha.
But what else I could talk about? I do have an all-animated short sci-fi thing.
Oh, cool.
That deals with interdimensional travel and stuff, but that's years away. I'm still waiting for computers to get even faster. But that's in my back. That's my third project I've had in a long time that I want to make. And then sometimes things will just happen where we'll just talk about something around the lunch table, and next thing you know, we're making a movie. So there's that openness, too, that I don't know.
That's awesome.
So if something sounds funny, sometimes we're still making Star Wars spoofs, and we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Just, one time we were talking about trading spaces, like from Star Trek to Star Wars or something. Crazy stuff like that. Stuff that won't get made, but it's fun to talk about it.
Well, that's cool that you can mix your fun and your job together.
Yeah, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's definitely a benefit. I remember reading that it says, well, there wasn't much of a plot on Star Ranger. It was a lot of fun. But they don't know that I'm actually experimenting. I'm actually growing in my craft when I do these things. So all the stuff that I did in Star Ranger has paid off folds here at work.
Yeah.
I'm faster in my 3D. I can do a lot more sophisticated stuff that, maybe I wouldn't have known how to do. And it's all about problem solving and growing as a motion graphic designer. Because I'm not really, I'm not a visual effects person per se, but I do a lot of visual effects here at the troupe. Because we're a group of 5 people basically, so we're wearing lots of hats. I have to know how to edit, and sometimes I have to deal with visual effects and motion graphics and all that. So the more I know, the more, the better I am at cranking out all these different projects. Because I'll be working on a medical project, and next thing I know, I'm working on a planetarium project. It's just all over the place. I even got to work with James Doohan on a spot in '96.
Yeah.
I got to do some Star Trek effects stuff, which was a blast for me. I got to ride in the limo with him. It was just fun to meet your idol. And
I got to meet him actually at the 35th Star Trek anniversary. They did a charity thing where you could have a drink with him.
Oh, he's a sweet guy too.
He was a nice guy.
When he was, of course, unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah, right. And he was kind of
signed my Enterprise. About the magnet thing he always hands out. And I got one of his magnets.
Oh, sweet.
He was just such a nice guy.
Yeah. They were all. We got to meet Sulu and Chekhov, and they were all really nice.
Yeah, they are. They just won't talk about Shatner, which I...
That's all right. We all know.
Yeah.
We can tell.
I am excited about the new movie, though. I think it's going to be great.
Mixed emotions, but...
Yeah, are you still holding on to the old Trek?
Yeah, I find that hard, because I did...
the original's my favorite. I'm 34. A generation would be more suitable for me, but I still prefer the old original series, You know
what? It's always going to be... I remember being up at 10 o'clock at night watching Friday nights as the original.
That's right. I remember it was on it late at night all the time.
Yes. My parents let me stay up for that. And I love Star Trek. But, I maybe because I'm a designer, I'm really excited about the new look of where they're taking the movie. So I look at things as like a fresh start. And I guess I'm more open. Like when I heard about the new Battlestar Galactica and they making Starbuck a woman, I thought, oh, that's a great idea. And
oh, really?
So
I'm a stubborn bastard.
I guess I look at, even in fan films, I like the fact, and I'm hoping Hollywood gets it, that you can have multiple approaches to a franchise. I'd love to see the Dark Knight, the 70s Batman, 70-year-old Batman, based on the Dark Knight comic book.
Oh yeah, that was
a one-off. Then you can have an internet-based Batman. That's a different look than the feature film Batman.
Right.
And then they have a TV. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the Smallville, and then the Superman films.
interpretations.
Exactly.
Right. So I look at this new Star Trek film as not really replacing the old Star Trek. I just see it's a reimagination of.
It's like a revamp. It's taking the spirit and the characters and kind of making them new. For new fans.
Right. I mean, I just don't think you could get away with the old bridge set of the Enterprise on.
Right.
On
no, absolutely.
IMAX.
I think my thing is they have these four. All right, 5 if you want to call Enterprise a good series, but they have these 4 good series, and they have all this history, and I don't want it left behind. I'd like them to build on that, which is cool if they could, and then also, like you said, the revamped films do both.
Yeah, I guess it's clever. I guess we'll have to see how they handle in the film. They're not calling it a reboot. They're calling it's almost like Lost. It's a timeline change that's happening.
Yeah.
And now it's an alternate universe, like the comic books in a way. It's a different timeline stream that's going on. That whatever happened.
Crisis on Infinite Star Trek Earth.
Interesting to see what Leonard Nimoy, how big his part is, and what he has to contribute.
Yeah, it's interesting how he's I'm looking forward to reading the countdown. I want to wait till the book comes out.
Yeah,
and read the backstory of.
No, that's the comic series, isn't it?
Right.
IDW putting out, or
coming out with a hardcover one, I think, or softcover of the whole thing, and I want to read that before I see the new film, so I catch up to what's going to happen. So when pick up to the point I'll have the backstory already figured out. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to reach a wide audience. I think they're going to do very well with it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Over time, people will relax a little bit, but never forget. To me, the classic. It's always
where you came from, and
yeah. I mean, I've always been, out of all the Star Trek series, the classic is my favorite to this day. I mean,
I guess we all stand.
Yeah. I have to say DS9 is my favorite, but
DS9, of course, is the darker of the series. Yeah. It's very, like you can see where Battlestar Galactica took from.
Yeah.
It was like the next evolution from Deep Space Nine with the Dominion Wars and all that stuff. It was kind of cool. And I never was Voyager. I started thinking they're starting to
tap the pool too much
a little bit, and then Enterprise, which I like the cast a lot, but it's just
I made it through the first season, and what I hear is like the 3rd and 4th was really good, and I just never seen them. Maybe someday I'll go back and watch them.
Yeah, Enterprise.
It made it all the way to 4 seasons? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it made it to 4 seasons. I guess what's that?
What amazed me on Enterprise, here's how it compares. Enterprise had about a $2.2 million budget, I think. And Battlestar Galactica, I think, has $1.2 million.
Oh, really?
I look at it. Wow, what they did with $1.2 million is just amazing.
See, the Battlestar thing, it was just too dark. I didn't get beyond the miniseries.
Yeah, you just had to stay with it. It really was a drama show.
Yeah.
Out of space. It really dealt with the characters and stuff. And he does know how to end the series. I thought the end of Battlestar was really good.
Really?
Which I won't reveal if people haven't seen it yet.
I'll have to give it a shot, I guess.
It wraps up very nice. But, it's definitely a dark series. But, it's definitely, I looked at the production values, as how they cut it, and creatively, the visual effects I love.
Yeah.
Atmospheric, I think, does it. They do a phenomenal job. Especially on a TV budget and schedule. I don't know how they do that. It's just phenomenal work by those guys. What will fan films look like 5 years?
Exactly.
It's going to be
any films, just your homegrown films. It'd be interesting to see.
I always envision software companies coming out with, I called it the studio, and basically the virtual characters will be so real that you'll just like Sims.
Right.
You'll make your own movies basically, and you'll have your cast of characters, and you can cast them and mold them to be what you want them to be. And you can buy different modules, the Western module, the sci-fi module, the action James Bond type of module, and then you make your own films, and you don't even have to shoot anything. You're working with the virtual actors.
They can bring back like Jimmy Stewart and Betty Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Clark Gable.
Humphrey Bogart as Captain Kirk. But who knows? It's just amazing. It's just so fun to, I'm a 48-year-old kid still. I'm still.
Yeah. Hey, we're with you.
Hey, man. Now, till the end. Cradle to the grave, fanboy. Yeah. That's the way it's going to be. I've taken a lot of abuse over the years, and it will continue.
Yes, on me mostly.
But
I love what you guys do. I do listen to your podcast.
Chris likes to beat me with reeds and bamboo shoots.
How long have you guys been doing this now?
We've been covering fan films for, I think I've been doing it like 7-8 years. Our podcast is about a year old.
Wow. You ever made a fan films yourself?
No, but we got to do it before.
I wrote one and I filmed one.
Oh, that's right, you did. Right.
But a Hellblazer fan film with Chris Notarilli from Blinky Productions, and it ended up kind of being the sound was shot, and we're using kind of like an assistant director, and he really didn't know what he was doing, and he really botched it. And I still have the script, so I'm thinking one day maybe maybe we could redo it. But we tried. It was fun. It was a fun experience. I mean, it was a blast doing it.
Yep.
But like you say, it is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of patience and a lot of sacrifice and stuff like that. So it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. It's definitely worth it.
It is a tremendous amount of work. That's why even with Star Ranger, I didn't tell anybody about it until I was done with the film because I had no idea, how long it would take.
When's that thing going to come out?
That's why you sometimes people are too quick to put them on the website, and they'll go, well, we just started production on our fan film, and then you wait a year, 2, 3.
Right, exactly.
And unfortunately, they can't even finish it because it's so much work, and especially when you're doing it part-time. I mean, we all work full-time jobs.
You sound like you're an extremely busy dude, so.
Well, family comes first. I have 2 little ones.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's the way to do it.
Family, so, and that's why we shot Ranger, because I said we wanted to do remote shooting. I said, I can't schedule it. Mike couldn't schedule it. I said, how about we shoot in our green screen studio, and then once in a while, in the evening, we'll go into the studio and we'll shoot a scene. And then that took 3 years to shoot Star Ranger.
That's cool.
And we just do it, hit one scene at a time. But that's how we make these things. Takes a while, but
pretty soon
like you know what you're doing.
Be starring your kids. Your kids will be directing you.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to be my next generation. My little one's a tap dancer, so maybe we'll do something.
Tap dancing in space.
I know a lot of tap dancers. My girlfriend's a tap dancer.
It's coming back. It's amazing. Yeah. Amazing stuff. I can't believe I can't dance. I don't know where she gets it from.
From Mom.
Yeah, Mom can't dance either.
From the mailman, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you my kid? My little one looks just like me. She's in a lot of ways. I see myself.
The mailman's like tapping up to the mailbox. Hey, Mr. Kimball. Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Well, sir, I don't have any more questions for you. Fanboy Will, do you have anything else for Mr. Kimball?
I'm spent.
Oh, me too.
Well, let's all retire.
Yeah.
I hope people find this interesting.
Oh, they will. They have to.
Thanks for the dramatic pause.
Well, I'll tell you, if anyone wants to see the films, here's the plug now.
Okay, go for it.
StarRanger7.com.
There you go. We always ask for the plug at the end.
Yeah.
There you go. Cheap plug.
Mr. Marc Kimball.
All right.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, sir. Thanks so much for taking time out to talk to us.
And thanks thanks for letting us bounce it back an hour. We appreciate it.
And hopefully run into each other in some convention someday.
That would be most cool.
And I will also plug Clive Young's wonderful book on his.
Yeah, and it is a good book.
Good job on that book.
It's
a really good writer.
Oh, it's all right.
The guy knows how to write. I will say that. So
Clive.
He's a nice guy too. So.
That Clive guy. I don't know about him.
Yeah, he's just a down to earth guy, and I check his site every day. I love reading
Me too.
about the
I have to steal the news.
And he started out with the what was it? Was it the Mos Eisley Cafe?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was his original site back in the day. That was before I started doing it. So,
well,
he's an old pro.
Yes, he is. He's an old timer like us, man.
That's right. We're old fogies, man. What's going on here?
I don't know.
Oh well.
All right, Mark.
Let the next generation.
Go home to your kids and your wife.
Yeah.
You guys take care.
Hey, you too. Thank you very much.
Take care, pal.
You too.
Bye-bye, man.
taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as